Chapter 4 deals with 9 ways to handle being judged as a result of being fallen. Number 1 is suicide, and Jean-Baptiste Clemens advises against it. Suicide just doesn't work because we greatly overestimate the number of people that will be hurt by our suicide. We assume we have lots of friends, but as it turns out, most of them are just acquaintances, and they just simply aren't going to care as much as we think that they will if we commit suicide. Furthermore, even if someone does care, they're going to put their own reason or interpretation or spin or narrative or story on why we committed suicide. They're not going to understand how complex we are. They're going to oversimplify it and misinterpret it. And even if someone did care and did understand, we're not around to see it. We don't get the fantasy of being at our own funerals, so we would never know that we hurt someone by committing suicide. So all in all, option number 1 is a terrible idea, and Jean-Baptiste Clemens also chimes in and says, I simply loved life too much for that. I'm a lover of life, so I'm not going to commit suicide. Number 2 is to judge other people proactively. Preemptively judge them before they can judge you. Cut the legs out from underneath them, and then they don't have a leg to stand on to judge you. So be about the business of judging other people and avoid being judged yourself. Suicide, preemptive judgment, and now number 3, make excuses. Cite extenuating circumstances. Say, I have a special case. Or if you're religious, talk about grace. Anything that makes you irresponsible for your own moral actions. Other people are just bad, but I have good reasons for the sins that I commit. Number 4, after suicide, preemptive judging, and excuse making, number 4 is wealth. What does wealth do? Well, all the commoners are huddled at the bus stop. All the commoners are at the bottom floor of the theater milling around. But the wealthy are in their own car. They're in their own luxury box. So being wealthy actually physically, literally removes you from a place where you can be judged. You can be above, you can be separate, you can be distinct if you are wealthy. Number 5, confess your sins. To God? No. To a priest? No. To a holy person, someone you respect and revere and admire? No. Confess your sins to a specific type of people. The specific type of people are the people that struggle with the exact same thing that you struggle with. Why? Because they are in no place to condemn you. All they can do is say, oh, the poor baby, I struggle with that too. And if you confess your sins to other moral failures of the same ilk, they're not going to condemn you either. Number 6, I adopt the philosophy of absurdism. You know, Jean-Baptiste Clemens says, I just can't see what the big deal about life, why everyone makes such a big deal about power and money and status. All I can do is pretend to care. Like Jean-Baptiste Clemens in the previous chapter, like his business card says, I'm a play actor. I'm playing a role here. Life is absurd. It has no inherent meaning, and any meaning I give to it is also fairly absurd. So I'm just going to act as if life has some meaning. And so to do that, there are 2 ways that Camus autobiographically, I think, inserts here, found meaning in his life, and there's a similarity there, and that is in the theater and on the football pitch. And that is, in both of those situations, you have teammates and you have constructed but very clear laid out rules. So you're working together as a team for a common purpose, and it's very clear what you are to do and to not do. The objective is very clear. And so adopt an absurdist philosophy where you don't believe in the Judeo-Christian, Greco-Roman finding the inherent meaning in life. And you also reject existentialism that says you create your own meaning by living forward. You think that that's all absurd, but rather you live as though there is meaning, even though you know that there isn't. You're an actor. You put on a mask and you play your part. Number 7 is to realize you're going to die. This is different than number 1, suicide. And the difference is, Jean-Baptiste reminds us that just the physical anguish of physical death will expiate, will pay, will atone for anything that you might have done, and just let that work backwards into the present and realize that your sins are not paid for now, but they will be one day, and sort of let that trickle back into the present tense of your life. Let the future expiation be your expiation now. Number 8, Jean-Baptiste Clement tried is to sabotage your reputation. The way he did it is with the cringy Reddit atheist of his day, were Paris Cafe, cringy atheist. And so he would shout out, "My God, this God, God bless," and thereby try to sabotage and ruin his reputation. Why? Because if you lower people's expectations of you, they're going to be much less critical. So rather than have them pull you down a peg, just pull yourself down a peg by lowering expectations and sabotaging your own reputation. Number 9 is to confess your sin, to be a judge penitent. And of course, this is the weight, this is sort of the thesis, the main point of the entire novel. So we're still not going to know in chapter 4 exactly what he means by this, but we're learning a little bit more about what a judge penitent might be. And so number 9 is to confess your sins, to condemn yourself as a judge penitent. So he gives an example of this, though not a definition, in that he is speaking to younger lawyers, and you have a judge, you have a lawyer and a criminal, and the lawyer condemns himself, and thereby the criminal looks a certain way. So just think about that 9th thing as you read chapters 5 and 6. The way to deal with guilt, number 9, is to condemn yourself, to confess your sin. But he says, Jean-Baptiste Clement says, in a certain way, as a judge penitent. In chapters 5 and 6, we'll explore what he means by confessing your sin in a certain way as a judge penitent. So those are the 9 ways that you can approach guilt: suicide, preemptively judging others, making excuses, being wealthy, confessing to other similar moral losers, adopting absurdism, knowing you're going to die, sabotaging your own reputation, and condemning and confessing yourself in a certain way.